Do you know the truth about nude beaches in the United States? Most people imagine nude beaches in the USA are fully legal and clearly protected, but the reality is more complicated because laws vary by state and enforcement often depends on local authorities rather than national rules. There is no single federal law that either allows or bans public nudity across the country, so each beach exists under a mix of state laws, county rules, and local tolerance levels. Many so-called nude beaches operate in legal gray zones where authorities simply choose not to enforce indecent exposure laws unless complaints arise. Some beaches are officially designated clothing optional areas, while others are only tolerated traditions that could change at any time if enforcement increases. One of the most famous legal nude beaches is Gunnison Beach in New Jersey, located inside Gateway National Recreation Area and managed by the National Park Service. Gunnison Beach. Gunnison Beach is widely considered the only legal nude beach in New Jersey because it sits on federal land where local bans do not apply, and nudity is allowed in a designated zone. Thousands of visitors come there in summer, and it is known for its large open shoreline and views of the New York City skyline. Another major clothing optional beach is Haulover Beach in Florida, located in Miami-Dade County. Haulover Beach. Haulover Beach is one of the most organized nude beaches in the country with lifeguards, restrooms, parking, and clearly marked clothing optional sections. It attracts large crowds on weekends and is often described as the most visited nude beach in the United States. In California, Baker Beach in San Francisco is one of the most well-known partially clothing optional beaches. Baker Beach. Only the northern section of Baker Beach is commonly used for nude sunbathing, while the rest of the beach requires clothing depending on enforcement and local conditions. Black's Beach in San Diego is another iconic nude beach, famous for its steep cliffs and strong surf conditions. Black's Beach. It is one of the oldest recognized nude beaches in California, but access is difficult because visitors must hike down steep trails. In Oregon, Collins Beach on Sauvie Island near Portland is a well-known clothing optional area. Collins Beach. This beach is located in a wildlife refuge, and nudity has been tolerated for decades, although it remains subject to local enforcement decisions. Another Oregon location often mentioned is Rooster Rock State Park, which includes a designated clothing optional section. Rooster Rock State Park. In Texas, Hippie Hollow Park on Lake Travis is the only officially clothing optional public park in the state. Hippie Hollow Park. It is not a coastal beach but a lakeside recreation area where nudity is legally permitted in designated zones. In Hawaii, Little Beach on Maui is one of the most famous unofficial nude beaches. Little Beach. Although nudity is not officially legal there, it is widely tolerated and has been used for decades as a clothing optional gathering spot. Across the United States, most nude beaches exist because of long-standing local acceptance rather than clear legal protections. Some beaches are formally recognized by local governments, while others survive through what is often called enforcement discretion. This means authorities may technically have laws against public nudity but choose not to enforce them in specific areas. However, this tolerance can change quickly if complaints increase or local policies shift. Many beaches also restrict nudity outside designated zones, meaning stepping a few meters away can sometimes lead to fines or warnings. For example, even in places like Gunnison Beach, nudity outside the marked area can be treated as disorderly conduct. This shows that even legal nude beaches often have boundaries that must be respected carefully. The culture of nude beaches in the USA is influenced by naturist movements that began in the early 20th century promoting body acceptance and non-sexual social nudity. Over time, this movement helped establish a small number of official or semi-official clothing optional beaches across coastal states. California has the highest concentration of well-known nude beach areas due to its long coastline and progressive local policies in some counties. Florida follows closely because of Haulover Beach and a few other designated zones that support naturist recreation. New Jersey remains unique on the East Coast because Gunnison Beach is the only officially recognized nude beach in that state. Despite their popularity, nude beaches are still controversial in some communities due to cultural and legal differences across states. Visitors are generally expected to follow strict etiquette rules including no photography, respectful distance, and non-sexual behavior. These rules help maintain acceptance and prevent conflicts that could lead to stricter enforcement. In many cases, nude beaches exist because communities have agreed informally that they are acceptable within specific boundaries. This fragile balance means nude beaches in the United States are not fully guaranteed rights but rather tolerated spaces. If laws or public attitudes change, these beaches could be restricted or closed more easily than people expect. That is why most naturists emphasize checking local rules before visiting any clothing-optional beach. Some beaches even post warning signs explaining that nudity is tolerated but not officially designated as legal. This reflects the broader truth that nude beaches in the United States are a mix of law, culture, and local discretion rather than uniform national policy. Despite the uncertainty, these beaches remain popular destinations for people seeking freedom, privacy, and a non-traditional beach experience. The United States currently has only a small number of widely recognized nude or clothing-optional beaches compared to many European countries. Most are concentrated in California, Florida, Oregon, Hawaii, and a few isolated locations on federal land. Each beach has its own unique rules, atmosphere, and level of enforcement, making no two experiences exactly the same. In summary, nude beaches in the United States exist but are mostly based on local tolerance rather than absolute legal protection.